Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Inside Irons. It's a post-season special, and joining me here in the studio, the Carlos Tevez to my Javier Mascherano, the big man, Carlton Cole is back. How are we doing, Carlton?
I'm all right, not too bad, mate.
It's hot, but also...
No aircon.
There's no aircon in here. Woo! It is hot. And I'm wearing a nice, cotton T-shirt.
Yeah. So
season ended 3 weeks ago. The season starts again in 3 weeks. The players are back, really soon. I think Monday they're coming back. I mean, quick turnaround. How would you feel about it?
I wouldn't be happy, obviously, but we're in trying times right now. The people need football, so we've got to be very careful of what we wish for, because we all want football back. So
yeah.
At the end of the day, but as a player, I wouldn't really want to be coming back so soon and so immediately to kind of please everybody else. Really, I want to please myself and my family, because I want to spend the time with them.
Well, we'll be looking back on the season and looking ahead to next season. But on the show today, one of our greatest ever Premier League wingers, Trevor Sinclair, is going to be here. The man who secured our Premier League status back in 2012, courtesy of a Carlton Cole assist. Ricardo Vazte is going to be here. And a friend of the show, Josh Widdicombe, will be here to tell us all about a very worthy cause. But looking back at the end of last season, we had that last game against Aston Villa. It looked like Jack Grealish had picked our pocket and won the game for Villa, but Yarmolenko came back. What a way to bow out.
Well, obviously, Yarmolenko, I'm a great fan of his, and he came in and just done his job as he usually does. But I felt sorry for Bournemouth, really, because I know I've got allegiances with Aston Villa, but they probably felt hard done by because of that other incident when the ball was up behind the line. So they're all talking about it. It's a talking point, but well done to Aston Villa for staying up. But as long as we didn't lose that game, going to next season feeling confident.
Yeah, well, it was a rollercoaster ride since lockdown ended and the season resumed. Let's have a look at our last few fixtures of the season. So here are the results since the restart, and you look at that Chelsea game, Carlton, that was the moment it all turned around for us.
Yeah, and as you'll see further on in this episode, that Souček played a massive role in that game, and I was just happy that he'd done that at that time of the season when we actually needed it. And obviously the rest of the boys pulled along with him, and it was brilliant. So that West Ham Chelsea game is a massive turning point for us.
Lovely. Well, it's an end of season special, but it's also a Carlton Cole special, because you're in the hot seat today, Carlton. Let's take a look back on your cult hero career in claret and blue. Carlton, when you joined West Ham, we had in the team, playing up front, Marlon Harewood, Bobby Zamora, Teddy Sheringham, Dean Ashton. Yep. Then we get Carlos Tevez after you join as well. You must have been looking around the dressing room thinking, what is going on here?
Yeah, I was actually.
Were you annoyed? Were you annoyed?
No, because I was actually more annoyed with the gaffer, really, Pards at the time. Because he said that I'm going to come in, I'm going to be first choice out of all of these great strikers, and then I ended up being sixth choice out of all these great strikers at the end of it. But at the same time, I saw that for me as a challenge. Yeah. And I just felt that I'm really good when my back's against the wall. So I always come out firing and against all odds. But it was a strange situation coming in and then just having Carlos Tevez walk in the next day. It wasn't really ideal, but I done all right at the end of it as well.
Yeah, I remember Carlos Tevez being the last West Ham signing that I saw on teletext.
Yeah.
I remember that breaking on teletext.
That was just like madness, wasn't it? Carlos Tevez and Mascherano.
Would you remember where you heard
I was watching him on the TV in the World Cup, and then they're coming into West Ham, not Chelsea, not Arsenal, not Man United, but West Ham. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. But then I saw them in training; they were just unbelievable.
I mean, shooting practice must have been.
Yeah. To be fair, Carlos wasn't really a good trainer, but he could. But Mascherano was, and I saw the way he used to ping balls left, right, and centre, left foot, right foot. But Carlos he'll coast through training, just get through it. And there was one time actually, I came in, and this guy was in the gym. And then I don't know what he was doing. He was like doing Pilates or something like that. Yeah. And I've never seen this before. I've never like gotten as the season afterwards. That's when we started doing Pilates and all that. But I just saw he was just doing different techniques to warm up, and he's just a class act, isn't he? But in training, he wasn't the best trainer.
Really?
Nah, he wasn't the best trainer. I know he did sulk a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
It's interesting what you say about Mascherano pinging her balls around. I mean, how many times did he win the Champions League? But Aidan Mullins kept him out of the team. But in the squad, were you like, come on, Pods, this guy's world class here.
It was kind of weird situation, like, because obviously I don't think Pards have had that sort of calibre of player before, and I don't know if he was able to handle it. Because there was one time as well, like I'd walked in, and then there was this on the signboard, like where we get like what we get told to do and all that, what's going on for the day. So you have to look at it to the to-do list, right? And then I looked on there and I've gone, wow, there's Spanish writing up there. So we had a meeting, and then he basically said that we have to go back to that signboard and get all of the key words in Spanish so we can talk to them. So Mascherano and Tevez. So we had to cater for them. They're in our country, by the way. Yeah.
Your dressing room.
And we have to learn Spanish. Unbelievable. I'll never forget that. That was really special.
Well, talk about like a great start to your West Ham career. Scored on your debut against Charlton, rifled it in.
Yeah.
Lovely. What a celebration too. What a day that was.
Oh, that was a brilliant day. Obviously, I'd played for Charlton as well. So
was Curbs in the opposition dugout? No, he would have left by that point.
I'm not sure. No, I think he was still there. I think he was still there. Or was it? No, it was. He was still there.
Yeah.
And yeah, he didn't like that, did he? Because I'd actually turned him down. So I was supposed to do a second loan. When I was at Chelsea, I was supposed to do a second loan. And I turned him down. And I said, no, I'm going Aston Villa. And he obviously had a grudge against me. So even when he came to West Ham to manage us, he kind of like shunned me.
He didn't forget that.
He weren't having me, yeah. So he got rid of, and he had an argument. Remember, he got Konchesky. So Konchesky got sold straight away. Then you got me. He was trying to get rid of me, so I was going to go Derby. So I remember my agent telling me, saying, listen, you got to go Derby because the gaffer is not having you. So it was a weird situation, but I was just so happy when I scored against Charlton on my debut. That was just there was something else in it.
There's a huge smile on your face when you scored.
Yeah, there was a huge story on it, so it was good.
It's funny you say you nearly went to Derby. I haven't heard that story before, but there's so many times you nearly left. And there's actually a time where your contract expired, then you came back. It was like you couldn't help but drawn to West Ham.
Look, there was one time I must have walked in on my second time I signed, and this is the funniest part of it. So obviously you got I walk into the canteen and you've got Mark Noble and having his breakfast, and he goes, bloody hell, Coley, we can't get rid of you. And I was like, oh, that's nice, isn't it? He goes like, I don't know if I can say this, but he's like, you're shit that don't flush. I was like, bloody hell, mate. But yeah, it was. I've just got an affinity to West Ham. I just keep on getting drawn back in it. So it's just one of those things. Like I'm back now at different capacities of the club. So I think it's West Ham and Carlton Cole just meant to be in it. Yeah,
you played with so many great strikers with West Ham, like Craig Bellamy as well. How did you get on with Craig Bellamy?
Oh, I've got a story about him too. So obviously I was doing well at this point. So it was me and him up front, and he kind of he was doing well for me. So he was doing basically all the running that I wouldn't do because he loved running, didn't he? Yeah. Going down the wings, doing the channels. And he said, Cole, you stay in the box. You stay in the box, and I'll do the rest. So it got to a point when I was scoring a lot of goals, and then England was knocking on the door, so it was in the papers. So in the morning it was in the papers. So I've walked into the changing room. Into the medical room. The medical room. Craig Bellamy. I walked into the medical room, and then I'm just there about to get my massage before training. And then he's gone, listen, Coley, you think you could play for England? And if you do, you've got to flip and pay me. Yeah. Because I've made your career, mate. I was like, shut up, man. It was like, but deep inside, I was like, thank you, mate. You have I was like, thank you, mate. You've been putting them on the plate for me.
Another striker you played with, David Di Michele.
Oh, yeah.
You said he was like one of the best players you ever played with.
Yeah, because, look, with him, he was an intricate player who's like, come short, connect with the midfield. And then he just said, just stay up front, stay within the 18-yard box. So I said, yeah, okay, cool. I don't mind doing less work. But then, so he was doing all of that. But one thing about that guy, he's there for the other striker to score. So he says, get in a position of a position where you can score, and then I'll pass it to you. Don't worry, I want you to score. You're my striker. So I was like, wow, what a guy this is. So, yeah, that's why I always say that he's one of the best strikers I played with.
Yeah, he scored loads of goals that season too, like down to him.
Yeah, yeah. And he was like, remember we had Zarate. So he was on that sort of level like Zarate, but he was older.
Yeah.
And
a little bit less greedy.
So this is what I was going to come to. So Zarate was a great player, but very greedy in certain situations. But with Di Michele's, he wasn't. He read the game. He knew when to pass the ball, knew when to release the ball, knew when to shoot. And it worked well for me.
When people talk about like your best ever goal, one that always comes up is the Wigan goal, that amazing team goal. And of course, the manager then was Gianfranco Zola, who you strangely, he was your old strike partner from your Chelsea days. What a strange scenario.
Yeah, like it was weird because obviously I had an affinity with him from before, and then he showed me, he was like my mentor when I was at Chelsea. So when he came into West Ham, along with Steve Clark, who was my under 21 manager at Chelsea, under 19 manager at Chelsea, and he's the one that ushered me through to the first team. It just boded well, and obviously they knew me and knew what I could do from a young age. So when they came into West Ham, the transition to get to know them and their management style was quite easy for me. And I knew that they would want to play on the floor. They wouldn't want to just kick it long and just me head on a pole and just knocking it on like that. So they wanted me to, because they knew that I had the ability to do it. So it kind of worked well for me, and that's why I was successful underneath them.
Yeah, and that goal against Wigan, was that your best?
That was a great goal.
Overhead kick, because it's City away, you scored a...
Nah, that's not... That was my best team goal, the Wigan goal, definitely. The overhead kick, well, I've never done that ever again, so that's up there. And then I think, yeah, I've scored a few bangers in it. So
in the Premier League next season, Scott Parker, manager, and I wanted to ask you about specific performance under Avram Grant. We played West Brom away, 3-0 down at half time. We came back 3-3 in that second half, and after the match, you said Scott Parker gave the most inspirational team talk of all time. What was your memories of that half time? What went on? Sounds like Braveheart.
So basically, Avram's walked in, and Avram got parked up. Because like it wasn't nothing to do with him. It was more to do with us and as professionals. And we just was 3-0 down at half time, and we were looking at each other and we were thinking, how are we gonna? There's nothing the manager can say right now that's gonna help us. So so I had a chat, trying to galvanise the team. Then I think Matty Upson did as well. I think Nobes must have chimed in, but then Scotty Parker at the end, mate. He was like. It was like watching a Rocky film, basically. You know, when you get hyped. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was just watching. I was just in awe of him, and I was thinking, this guy is a special guy. And look at him now. At Fulham, he just shows you what kind of person he actually is, and that the players will play for him. So that was and that's why I had to mention it on Sky later on that day after the match, obviously. And I just said the speech he gave in there was unreal.
Well, sadly, we got relegated that season. And I think if I have to think of the reasons why West Ham fans love you so much, is because of what you did that summer. We got relegated. Premier League striker, you stuck around for the cause. You saw us back up to the Premier League in the season. I think you scored, 14 league goals that season?
15.
15. Including the playoff. Yeah, that playoff.
Hit my target.
What a season. And I think this is why West Ham fans absolutely love you.
Yeah, it was a bit weird that season because at the start of it, obviously Sam Allardyce came in, and obviously he didn't know me. He'd heard about me, but he didn't know me. But he came in and he wanted to get rid of me straight away. Like every manager comes in, Carlton, He's got to do one. Like, this geezer is not for me. Yeah. So anyway, he's come in and he wanted to get, I think he wanted the money so he could go and get someone else. So he's brought Picky on in. So he was there to replace me. And then I was like, the cheek of this guy, I'm not going anywhere, mate. I'm going to stay. But I did have to, because obviously I was going to go to Stoke, and then I was looking at the terms and conditions, and I was like, nah, I'm not really having it like that. And not just that, it was just didn't feel right going up to Stoke. Like, I always struggled living up north anyway, so anything past the Watford Gap, get a nosebleed, mate. So imagine if I'll get a brain hemorrhage if I was to live up there. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I wouldn't be able to function. So anyway, so I just said, you know what? I've just got to stay close to my family, close to the people I love, and it just worked out that I just said, you know what? I'll take the hit on the wages. I prefer taking the hit on the wages for one season, and staying at the club and see if we can get up at the first time of asking, which was a tall ask. So it was a big gamble for me, financially as well, and for my family. But at the same time, it put me on because it worked out in the end, it put me on a different level with the fans, and I can understand why they have an affinity with me but it wasn't because I wanted to stay loyal. It wasn't like that. It was just more to do with, I had unfinished business as well. Didn't want to move up north. Everything just fitted for me to stay. So that's the way I look at it. But if anyone wants to say anything different, say he's a hero for staying, say that. But it wasn't like that in my head. I thought it was just the right thing to do. Yeah, and
it must be. I mean, the reception you get when you walk around London Stadium on a match day, sensational. It must be nice now. Your career's over there. You've got that in the locker now. Yeah,
it's lovely to be liked, especially at a football club of this magnitude. You know what I mean? And I do respect the fans, and I think they know that I respect them, and they respect me as well. So it's just nice to have that rapport with them, and all the staff, like all the backroom staff. I know everybody from top to bottom, especially now I've got into the media part as well. I didn't really know the media part, but now I know like everybody, like as a whole, and it's just been a pleasure to be working here, and it's like a family for me.
Yeah. And you're still mates with Big Sam, even though he tried to flog you when you came in, tried to flog you a year later, then got rid of you, and then re-signed you.
You know, it is like most of the managers I've played under, they have to respect me because they know that I'm a trier.
Yeah.
I might not be the best, I might not be everybody's cup of tea, but I'll always give 100% in anything I do. So that's the way I look at my life, and hopefully I'm an example for the younger generation.
Then your last game for West Ham was, of course, that 2-2 classic against Everton in the FA Cup that we won 9-8 on penalties. And that was your last goal, sorry.
Was it,
yeah?
Yeah. With the Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian on pens. Yeah. What a way to get your last goal. What a night.
Yeah, it was. That was a great night under the lights. Those are the sort of nights that West Ham are known for and live for, and the players love it under the lights. And that was a special sort of night when I think it was Tompkins that headed it down to me, wasn't it? And it came off my shin. Yeah. Classic Carlton Cole goal, mate. Off my shin. I actually tried to hit my foot, but it came off my shin. But it went in, didn't it? So any goal is a good goal at the end of the day.
Lovely. Well, up next, we've got a friend of the show. He's a comedian, star of the likes of League of Their Own and Last Leg, and of course, the smash hit podcast about 90s football. Quickly, Kevin, we caught up with Josh Widdicombe about a very worthy cause.
Is he the guy from The Hobbit?
Please welcome to Inside Irons, everyone's second favourite host on Quickly, Kevin, Will He Score, the 90s football show, Josh Widdicombe. How you doing, Josh?
Good. How are you guys?
Not too bad, Josh. How you doing?
It looks absolutely boiling.
Look, so you're a big Argyle fan. So I was looking to find who your favourite player who's played for Plymouth and West Ham might be. I think I've got the following options for you: Carl Fletcher, Moses McCarthy, Rufus Brevitt, and 1991 Argyle Player of the Year, Kenny Brown Jr. Who's your favourite?
Kenny Brown obviously was Player of the Year, but that was kind of the year before I started to go. I started to go in 92, so I don't remember him. But one on your list who we had on loan, who you might have crossed paths with, Carlton, was a midfielder called Lee Hodges, who came up. He used to play for West Ham. He came up through the youth system with Rio Ferdinand and Frank Lampard and all them. He was about 5'2". He was absolutely tiny. But at our level, The level of skill he had at our level was unbelievable.
Was he your star man?
Well, we only had him for a month, but that month that we had him was unbelievable. Like, it was being a star born, and then obviously he didn't make it. It was a shame. But that's the only kind of West Ham Plymouth direct crossover that I remember.
You're actually here today because there's a really worthy cause that you're getting involved with. The first black player to play for England was Viv Anderson in 1978, but 53 years earlier, Jack Leslie, bit of a Plymouth legend, got called up for England on behalf because of his form at Argyle, but when they found out he was black, he got dropped.
It's an astonishingly awful story. But also, you know, Jack Leslie's a brilliant player, but be an inspiring man. And so I didn't know about this. It's weird, isn't it? You think that kind of thing would be like this kind of famous story, but it isn't even that famous as a kind of thing within football, and Jack Leslie isn't known. And so some Plymouth Argyle fans have got together, and not me, I should say. I'm not taking the credit for this. I'm just, you know, I'm the one that can get on inside irons. That's why I'm here. So they wanted to honour Jack Leslie, and so there's they're fundraising for a statue outside Home Park, and Plymouth Argyle, the chairman and the club, are very much behind this, and the statue's going to be built. And they've already raised £130,000 towards it. Right, the original target was £100,000. But the more they raise, obviously, the easier it'll be, and the better the statue can be, and also they'll be able to do community stuff with that and do other stuff in Jack's name. And it just feels like, you know, obviously there's statues of players outside of many grounds, like of just players that were star players for the club. But it feels like Jack Leslie wasn't just a great player, he represents so much more than that. And particularly, you know, with what's happened in the last few months and the current climate, it feels like it's such a great thing to honour him with a statue. And he has a West Ham connection because he, after ending playing for Plymouth, he went and he moved back to East London where he was from, and he worked in the boot room at West Ham. So he worked, you know, for all those classic West Ham players from Bobby Moore to Trevor Brooking, that kind of 70s era. So it's kind of West Ham, you know, if you want a link between the two clubs, that's got to be the greatest link you could have, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Carlton, you actually told me this story. I wasn't aware of it until you brought it. You told me. It's an incredible story,
yeah,
isn't
so I basically, obviously I knew about his nephew or grandnephew or something like that, and they contacted me on Instagram. And I said I'd like to help in any way possible, whether it would be via social media, donating, and I just retweeted. So it was really a good thing to be involved with.
Yeah, massively. Josh, how can people get involved?
If you go to the Jack Leslie campaign website, you know, you can donate there. But also, you know, if there's ways of getting it out to West Ham fans, because this isn't just a Plymouth Argyle story. Do you know what I mean? It's so much more than a Plymouth Argyle story. It's a story about heritage and football and, you know, where we've come from and how far we've still got to go. And so any clubs that want to be involved, anyone who's any supporter of any club, although I imagine it's mainly West Ham supporters watching this. I doubt there's many Chelsea fans watching. Jack Leslie campaign, read more about that and just donate because it's a brilliant cause.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And Josh, look, I know you're a parent. Your parenting podcast is booting off, and maybe it's time for me to now start focusing football allegiances. So, as a thank you for popping in to tell us about the Jack Leslie story, this may be being dropped off soon.
Why is she got the number of a commanding centre back? She's a 38. Oh,
I've seen the way she commands around your house. So I think that's her position. Lovely stuff. Thank you for joining us, Josh.
Thanks, guys. Good to speak to you. Cheers.
Well, Carlton, so many great matches you had in Claret and Blue. I've decided there's one match in particular that I want to talk about. Let's take a look. We have a 3-3 draw with West Bromwich Albion from the 12th of February 2011, and this is very much a game of two halves, Carl.
Yeah, it was definitely a game of two halves. I think it was we were evenly matched in this game as well. I think they had quite a good team, West Brom. Odin Wengi, they had a few other boys. Brunt, is it Brunt? Yeah. And it was just like it was a hard game from the start, and I never actually look straight away.
No messing.
No messing. I was always the one that got beat up, always. You saw my face after this. Did you see my face
Yeah,
after
yeah,
the
yeah. I mean, hopefully we'll see
And
that.
that was my own player.
Was it? Who did that? The fat lip?
I think it was Winston Reid, actually.
What was that, kind of corner or?
Yeah, he just... Oh, what a goal. See, the goals like that...
You got to say fair enough, haven't you?
Yeah, Doran.
Dorans. We would always been linked with Dorans.
Yeah, we were. I remember. I think he came to the training ground one time.
Really?
Yeah, and he was going to sign him, but didn't. It fell through.
And that obviously angered him enough to score this goal. Brilliant.
Yeah. This game was just a weird game. Like from the start, like there was no. We didn't have no energy. And
yeah.
Sometimes you can't
just
get out of that.
It doesn't feel right.
It just doesn't feel right. Yeah. So when we was good. It was no surprise we went 3-0 down before half time. But look, even that, it's like, what's going on? No one wants to run.
Roy Hodgson in the stands as well. He must be taking a look at you.
Who else? Look at me. I was thinking, that was not. Like, I usually hold the ball up better than that. I was really disappointed as well. And they went and scored as well. Come on. It's just shocking. Just take me off now. Get him off.
You must have felt like that in your career after 8
Jerome
minutes.
Thomas, he's a great player, but he hardly ever scored, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, but I think he had a good season this year.
Is that a big deflection there? Does that take a deflection? It looked like it went in quite easily. Let's have a look. Who's that 22? Is that Jacob?
No, it's just just passed it in the net. Just passed it in.
Don't they? Like, you're
really
right.
Bad, really bad. Look at that. Look at the touch. Shocking. I did keep the ball though, but bloody hell, I wanted to go that way.
Still only 22 minutes in. The amount of action in these highlights. I mean, this is it. Got it in the net there. Carlton, he scored. He's flagged it. You can't believe that. You thought you were onside there.
Do you know what? That season, I scored a couple of goals that
Let's have a look.
I'm
onside.
What?
You're onside.
I'm onside, mate.
We should have won this 4-3. That may have been enough to keep us up.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
so
man.
It's just one of them games, isn't it? Like, what is he looking at? Actually, I actually didn't even know I scored.
Really?
I don't even remember that.
And
then that goes and happens. It's just diabolical, like, mate.
Half hour on the clock.
So we get robbed. Down. We get robbed by a goal.
Well,
that wasn't bad.
We've hit the post twice. Can't big chance for you here.
Oh my God! Like, it's just not happening. It's just not happening.
I tell you what, on a different day.
Well, we've had our chances.
Yeah, we could be 3-0 up on a different day. I mean, that is so unlucky. Here we go, second half now. So you've had your half time.
We've had our speech. Scott Parker inspired us. Look, he's dictating stuff from now.
Look at the way Scott Parker's playing. There's a different energy to this team. Look at the players that are getting forward.
Yeah, we felt it.
Jemba Bar takes the touch. Here we go.
Get that ball up. Let's go.
Let's go.
Get that ball up. Let's get to the halfway line and let's start again. I don't know what his contract. I think he had a year loan with us, and then he was an option to buy or something. I don't know. But
look at that, Carlton.
Now, look at what Reedy does to me here. Look, I've just scored, and he's just headbutted my head.
How does he headbutt you?
He headbutts me.
In the goal?
Look, so I'm there pinning my man. I'm there thinking, bang, goal.
Oh!
He's come across me, bang, straight across my my lip.
Oh, what damage he's done? Your lip, your nose?
I've still got the scar.
Oh, man. Is there blood?
Bang.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dorans again, go away.
Yeah, this geezer just wanted to do damage, really. Great save again from the green dog.
Odin Wingy. He was linked to us as well for a bit.
I think he's linked to everyone. At least he didn't drive to the...
Yeah, drive to the ground on deadline day. Is that?
So hold
up, mate, superb hold-up play there.
Hold on a minute. He's
Could have been a pen.
He's got to give me a pen.
Nice twisting and turning. Skillful from Noble.
Yeah, he's got that, you
know.
Denver! Oh,
what?
Mate.
How has that not gone in?
It's just diabolical.
What, in this game?
We've had loads of chances.
Yeah. This game should be on DVD in the club shop. It's actually...
It's actually a good game. It's entertaining.
Look at that off the line. How many chances?
He was a tall fella, this guy.
Is that Jonathan Greening, is that?
No, it was Olsen. Yeah, the tall fella.
Oh,
that's a brilliant goal.
Come on.
Brilliant goal.
Denver Bar, 83 minutes.
See, the fans at this stage, they're just going, what that first half was to what it is now, they're just in dreamland, didn't they?
Oh,
they're thinking, this is unbelievable.
Short corner too. Love it. What a finish that is. That's a tough one.
It's a great finish.
ball coming down from a corner. Oh,
great finish.
West Brom fans checking out now.
I think
Lots
we had a close call. You can't get to 3-3 and then lose 4-3. It'd just be ridiculous.
Oh man!
So it was lining up. I was thinking, thank God, let's crack on. So look, this is our last chance, I think. I was thinking.
Look at the fans. Imagine if we'd scored here.
Like my lips big. I'm thinking I need to get something out of this game. Again.
Who is that? Da Costa.
Da Costa.
Oh, he's
and
done
his
his
lip
mouth.
as well. His lip has. It was a game of lips, wasn't it? So yeah.
There we go. Full time.
He was disappointed. He was actually disappointed. How can he be disappointed? Hey, look at him. Or does he just look like that all the time? Doesn't he?
You never really see him laughing and joking.
He just looks like that.
Well, our next guest is one of our all-time great Premier League wingers. 177 league games and 37 league goals, and form for West Ham that propelled him all the way to the 2002 World Cup. We caught up with tricky Trevor Sinclair. Welcome to Inside Irons, Trevor Sinclair. How are we doing, Trevor?
I'm glad to be here, man. I'm very well, thank you.
We had Joe Cole on a few weeks ago on this show, and we asked him, who's the most underrated player from your time at West Ham? He said Trevor Sinclair. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
That must be what the invoice was for. He sent me an invoice saying, listen, you know what? And he won multiple things, unfortunately with most of them with Chelsea, but you know, his England involvement, he was a superb player. So to have an accolade like that from Joe, it makes me happy.
Thinking about your playing career, would you say your best times were in a claret and blue shirt?
Yeah, 100%. You know, I feel it was easier because I had great teammates around me. You know, Harry assembled an unbelievable squad of players. So I felt like I could express myself a lot more when I was at West Ham. Probably natural ability, I think it was probably when I was at QPR, because before my injury, I was a lot quicker, more explosive. I could go past players both ways. And I just picked up an injury at the wrong time. I was probably about 22, 23. I was in the England squad. And I feel if I could have stayed in the England squad then, I might have had 80 caps. So that didn't happen, but I had to adapt when I got to QPR. Harry had the faith to bring me to the club at West Ham. And I adapted my game. I became a good pro. I was tactically very good. And on my day, I could, you know, do a little bit as well. So, yeah, I feel like I really enjoyed my time. I had a fantastic rapport with the fans as well. You know, I used to obviously play Upton Park and then go out and have a few bevies with the fans, which was...
Really?
And East Londoners, you know, it's not like West London, because West London is very cosmopolitan. East London is people from the area. Do you know what I mean? So I really had an affinity with them people. And, yeah, just loved my time at West Ham completely.
When I think about yourself, Harry Redknapp, West Ham, it just feels like a perfect match. Like Harry loved the bargain. It was an unbelievable signing to bring you to Upton Park. How did Harry sell you on the club?
It was easy, to be honest, because I was unhappy at QPR. You know, QPR had sold Les Ferdinand, sold Darren Peacock, both top players. Brought in players not, without being disrespectful, not to the same level. And kind of lied to me about their ambition as a club. I felt ambitious as a player, and I didn't think the club was matching that. So I felt like I was ready for a change anyway. And then when Harry came in for me, I heard a few rumours, and I think we were playing in the FA Cup on this Saturday. I wasn't involved at QPR. I was still coming back from an injury. And I was watching or listening to the game, and Samasi Abu was on fire. The lads were playing out the skin. I was thinking, yeah, I'll have some of this. I'd love to be amongst these players. I weren't sure whether I was going to play, but again, I think that just that excitement about being around a new group of players, it really kind of captivated my spirit and my love for the game. And as soon as I kind of joined, it started really well, and I scored a brace on my debut against Everton.
You say that you wasn't sure about playing. You got to be kidding me, surely.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that.
Well, you can't. I couldn't see that though. Like when you're thinking you're Trevor Sinclair, you're walking into this side. Surely, come on.
Yeah, but listen. If you know me, see, people see me as this bit of a boy in that, but actually, I'm just a hard-working kid. You know, I was playing the Sunday League football. I made football a career for myself, which is a dream. And when I was at QPR, I was really struggling for confidence. I was actually training with the lads and then going off training on my own because I was always quite a thick-set boy, and I started doubting my weight, started doubting my ability. And then when I did get to West Ham, it was one of them where I was myself for the first day of training. And like, to be fair, the group of players, I remember we was coming out at Chadleaf and I was jogging around, it was peeing it down. And as we got to the end of the gym, John Moncur come running out and he had a weightlifting and socks, and that was it.
You knew you'd arrived, like, this is what it is.
I just thought, oh my God, what an absolute legend. And that was it. It kind of settled me down a little, because I was nervous for training. And then the first game, obviously, you know, you're up for the game. And then to score a brace on your debut, you know, it's kind of dreams are made of. And then the fans got behind me, and that was it. I loved the place. And Andrew Impey was there, and he'd gone from QPR to West Ham, which was the path that I was going to take as well. Yeah. And I asked Andrew, because there was a few rumours that it was troublesome for black players. And Imp said, Trev, I've not heard anything. It's been different. The fans have been different class. So that was it for me. I loved Harry. I'd played with Jamie in the under-21s, stayed at Harry's house. So I knew Harry personally. And when he came in, I had no other thought. I just couldn't wait to get going. And I had apart from the relegation, which was really sad, and you know, you look at 42 points, you probably stay up most seasons with that points tally. But apart from that relegation disappointment, I wouldn't change it. It was an absolutely blinding time.
Well, Joe Cole said you were one of the most underrated West Ham players of his time here. But I'll tell you what else was underrated. Your assist for Paolo Di Canio for one of the all-time great Premier League goals. Do you know what that goal is? Watching it back, it's all assist.
Yeah.
Paolo's the last 10%.
Yeah.
He couldn't miss. It was literally a tap-in. And like, the fact that he's like got a bar at the new stadium, the Paolo Di Canio bar.
Oh no, it should be the Trevor Sinclair bar. You're just serving it up. You're the man behind the bar, aren't you?
Exactly. To be fair, like me and Paolo, I don't know what it is, because he's Italian, he's passionate, he was professional, he was brilliant on his day. We didn't have that much in common apart from football. We're still really good friends now, and Paolo keeps on saying to me, if I get a job, I'm bringing you in as my number 2. I see him socially now and again in London. He invites me out to Italy all the time. We're just really good friends. And actually, when we played together, we kind of had an understanding, which, Carlton, I'm sure you've had it in your career.
Yeah.
Some player just seems to know your movements. Me and Paolo had that, and it was probably one of the most enjoyable times of my career playing with Paolo. But
great players always on the same page. That's why you could score a goal like that and you can assist it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, like, I think one of my biggest talents was realising where my status was in a certain environment, like in a certain group of players. And when you're with Paolo, listen, when we're talking about vinyl, I was the B-side, and I knew that.
Talking about ingratiating yourself with a bunch of players, the 2002 World Cup, like your form that season for West Ham projected you into that England team, and you settled in. Like, it was an amazing performance, one of the standout performances of that World Cup for England.
You know what? Obviously, you know, it's playing a World Cup, and play for your country anyway. But playing the World Cup, it's like your biggest achievement on an international level. And I was dead proud to do it. One, for myself and my family, but also for the West Ham fans, because you know what it's like. There's 6 or 7 lads in from Liverpool, 6 or 7 from United, and then a couple of dotted around from different clubs. We actually had 3 players in that World Cup squad, me, J-Mo and Joe Cole. And I was proud to be putting that shirt on for myself, representing my family, my friends, but also representing West Ham. And it meant a great deal when I come back. You know, like the welcome I got back from the West Ham fans was incredible. Yeah. And it's something that I'll definitely take to the grave. Yeah,
I mean, as West Ham fans, we're definitely so proud you're out there, you know, doing the business. We asked Joe Cole who his most underrated player. Obviously, he said you. Who is your most underrated player that you played with for West Ham?
Well, obviously, he didn't end up being underrated or overrated. Frank was unbelievable at West Ham. Yeah. Frank Lampard. Yeah. And like, it's one of them players that I really got along with. And like, we'd go out and he'd on the pitch and he'd play well, he'd score a goal, and like the home fans are calling him Fatty and that. And I was like, what is this? And I just didn't understand. I didn't know Frank, obviously, but I didn't understand where the breakdown, listen, when he left the club and he said a few things about the club and then there was that kind of rivalry, I understand that now. But when he was at the football club, he was so professional. I thought he was a player destined to do well because not so much because of his performances, but because of his work rate and training and after training. Another player who I thought was underrated, and I was watching the Bradford game recently. I think it was that 5-3 or 5-4 game. It was mad. I always used to think, obviously because of my first impressions when I got to the club, John Moncur, when he came out nude, I always thought he was a bit of a joker. But I watched the game, Bradford game, about 6 months ago. I think West Ham put it on in lockdown. And John was a fantastic technician.
Yeah,
and like, he was loopy. He's born again Christian now.
Yeah, he's found God. He had to, I think. He had to.
He was underrated because he was he was a fantastic footballer. And again, I see Monks because he works with the club still now at the London Stadium, and it's great. You know, we had a fantastic rapport.
Fantastic. Right, last question. Obviously, West Ham secured their Premier League survival. How do you see next season going for West Ham?
What you've seen from when lockdown restarted, I think the team's form was superb. I think certain things fall into place. Haller was injured, so Antonio went up top. I think that's his position. He's not a winger. He's got too much muscle, simple as.
He's definitely not a right back.
Although he's honest, as the day's long and he'll play there because he's a really honest kid. He's got to play up top because he's too much to handle for certain defenders. And I think that as you get older, Carlton, you'll probably back me on this.
Well, my one went backwards. I was more composed younger. I'm an exception to the rule, bro.
You know, I was really pleased to see Haller come out and said, like, it's been an up and down season. I'm glad it's been a positive outcome. I've learned a lot. I'm more ready for next season. So I'm dead excited for the club. I think we're on the right track. So if we can bring in 1 or 2 players just to freshen it up a bit, I think it's going to be a really successful season.
Wonderful. Trevor Sinclair, thank you for those great memories and thank you for the chat today.
Cheers, guys.
Beautiful stuff. Now, if you trace the roots of West Ham's Premier League status, you will trace it back to the 87th minute of the playoff final in 2012. Ricardo Vazte securing our status, courtesy, of course, of that fantastic Carlton Cole assist. But we caught up with the man who got us here, Ricardo Vazte.
Michael for Vazte! And Ricardo Vazte gets West Ham back into the match.
Hello, Ricardo. Welcome to Inside Irons. Looks like a lovely day wherever you are. Where's this balcony?
I'm in Portimao. The beach is literally over there. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Okay. Don't show off.
My daughter is so...
Hey, hello. Stop showing off, yeah? Stop showing. I'm only in London at the stadium. Go ahead.
Ricardo, look, we're going to talk about the 2012 playoff final, that amazing goal you scored. Before we get into one of the greatest moments any West Ham fan has lived through, let's talk about the assist that Carlton Cole laid on for you for that goal. I mean, he gave you that moment on a plate, didn't he?
Carlton made me famous, innit? So...
No, I didn't mean to.
But that's the team effort, innit? It was for you. You couldn't do it. You laid it off for me. So... That's what we were, innit?
Yeah, that's what we were, a team.
Yeah, you could see it, you know. Whoever's is in the best position, off you go, you know. And Carlton scored a wonderful goal in the first half to put us ahead. So and to make the assist, which if you think about it, the man of the game really, a goal and assist. So yeah, and make me famous in the process. So fantastic.
No, but to be fair, you could have got a few goals that game. You know as well. You could have got a few.
Pressure, bro. The pressure.
I know.
Too much.
I know. It's different gravy. But you come good in the end, man. You come good in the end.
Ricardo, you scored that goal. The shirt came off. The six-pack was out. I remember the next day, every single newspaper had that picture on the front. How did it feel to score a goal of that magnitude?
Yes. I think not only for me, I think if you see the reaction of everybody else, the players, the manager, it was euphoria. Literally, it was crazy. It was because we knew how much it meant to us and for the fans. So,
what were the celebrations like after the game? I know Carlton went straight on holiday, but do you have a drink after the game?
No, I think I was still static. Like it happened, that great moment fell to me. You know, it was so unexpected after a huge fight back to get to that stage. You know. So I was still, it took me quite some time to process the whole thing, to be honest.
The strange thing about that season is you actually joined in January. You'd played for Barnsley at the start of the season. You scored 10 goals for Barnsley. Then you scored 10 goals for West Ham after January. You had the hat-trick against Brighton. It feels like what a season that was for you.
I was very fortunate. To be fair, Barnsley kind of shaped me. It was really tough for Barnsley, but once I found that mental toughness, so it was easy to deal with. Whatever came at me that season. But all sat at Barnsley, really, to dig in deep and to prove Keyfield that I was worthy, because he really challenged me and kind of shaped me, really, to be honest.
Yeah. Speaking of mental toughness, obviously we got promoted through the playoffs, and playoffs are meant to be nervy occasions. But quick word against Cardiff in the semi-final, because there were no nerves there. Won the first game 2-0 away, the second game 3-0. It looked like a pre-season game.
We dismissed them. No, we were cooking. We were solid. But obviously, final is a final, innit? If you remember, we went away. It was tough. We come off with 2-0. Jack Collison. At home, Upton Park was just Upton Park. So we just,
Remember, we knew that if we could get something away from home, then when we came back to Upton Park, we'd steamroller them anyway. So it was just, we had that confidence about each other's ability that we would be okay. But then it was just about the final. That was where, you know, it could be any day, any stage. Some people might turn up, some people might not come home. You know what I mean? So, and it happened to be very good for the majority of us.
True. No, we were, at home we were solid. So, I mean, we were driving force. Obviously, final was a completely different situation. Although we caught Blackpool twice in the season, even away we played them with 10 men. We still got 4-0. But final is one game. Plus, you're playing in a neutral ground. It's tough. The nerves, the crowd, although they didn't let us fill up the stadium to its full capacity. But so...
Well, that weren't our fault. That was Blackpool's fault. They got enough fans.
I know. We wanted to overcrack outside as well.
A quick word on, so what was that summer like for you? With West Ham fans, I bet you never bought a drink in East London after that.
You know what? I never realized the dimension of West Ham until after that moment. Really? Everywhere I went, I remember I went to Cancun, I went to Marbella. I was in Cancun, I was like, what? I was ecstatic. I was like, are you sure? Maybe you want to talk to somebody else. No, it's you. Yeah, you play for West Ham. I'm a West Ham fan. I'm like, here? This far? Are you sure?
It's crazy, bro.
I mean, I found West Ham fans everywhere, literally everywhere. I never realized how big West Ham was until that moment.
Wow. And another thing about that season you had for West Ham, every goal you scored, you had a trademark celebration. Do you remember what it was?
The Lion King.
The Lion King. I heard so. So tell us about that celebration.
I brushed Carlton off at some point. I think he was. What was that?
I remember. But I didn't mind that because you had your own personality, Baz. You always had, you had your own personality. You're a bit out of the box. You weren't like the typical football player, you know what I mean? You drive, I remember when you first come.
Don't go there, bro. Don't go there.
I'm going there.
Let's have an exclusive, come on.
So he's got money now. He's got money in the bank, yeah. He's good, yeah. So now he comes and then he buys, what car? He says he's buying a new car. So I'm thinking he's buying a new car. Okay, cool. And he comes in with a Volkswagen Sirocco. I was like, yo, you go get a Range Rover or something, innit? He wasn't interested. He wanted this Sirocco and he was going. That's why I always said this guy is different. He's like a goalkeeper. You see, goalkeepers are different.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys.
I take that as a compliment, bro.
It is. It's a very massive compliment, bro. Oh, no, and there's another one as well. Yeah?
Okay, here we go.
Okay, you know the one. I was actually going through. I was going through my phone the other day, yeah? And I remember it was winter time, and then you came in, furry jacket, a pink furry fur coat. I think it was chinchilla, yeah? You know the pimp jacket, yeah? The pimp one, but it was in pink.
Still guy, bro. Still in the closet, bro.
Is that for fancy dress nights? What is it? Not on the day.
That's your fault and give them out, yeah? Because used to stitch me up in there. Come on, dress up, man. Because I used to just come back.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
Because I was like, okay. So I think I went home and complained to the missus. I was like, man, these guys are, you know. And just like, okay, you know, I got you.
Bloody hell, she did get you, mate. Coming in looking like Pink Panther.
Ricardo, when we got to the Premier League, I remember you scored in a 2-1 victory over QPR, but then you did your shoulder, and it was kind of, you just got plagued by injuries a little bit after that point.
Yeah, that's been my history, innit? When it gets good and then some injuries comes along. So it's part of my life, kind of. So, yeah. We started the season well, to be honest. And then QPR, I think we first 8 games or 6 games, we were cooking already at the time. And then we played Arsenal at home. And then in the second half that happened, yeah. It kind of put me off until kind of January. So kind of broke the season for me, really.
Yeah. And then you scored, I think, goal of the month against Cheltenham in the League Cup. I remember you scoring this amazing free kick, but the celebration was kind of like you were frustrated. It looked like you were frustrated at that point.
I was. And I was kind of brushed off of that free kick as well. Some of the guys would say, no, Tompkins was going to take it. I was like, no way. If I didn't score, that was it. So, yeah, no, I was frustrated because I felt like my position in the team should be higher.
Well, I mean, your games to goal ratio speaks for itself. I mean, on behalf of West Ham fans everywhere, thank you so much for your time in Claret and Blue. But quickly, what would you say? I don't think I know the answer to this, but what would you say your favourite match was for West Ham?
I have to go for the final just because it's so. I mean, we had so many memorable time at West Ham, but I have to go for the final because everything is just unforgettable because of the emotion that he brought. You know, West Ham been promoted so many times before. They went down before, they got promoted before, but that one sticks because he was just a thriller. He was so captivating. He was so on the edge, you know. So it definitely had to be that moment.
And when you see West Ham on the telly playing Premier League games now, do you think, I did that? I set this fixture.
No.
You're humble. You're too humble, bro. I do. I say, look, do you know what my problem was like this season especially, right? So they wasn't doing too well. And I was like, please, all that work we put in that season to get us up, yeah? I don't want it to go in vain and then have to rejig it again, do you know what I mean? So I was so happy we stayed up. And that was a bit, I swear, and I'm just saying it because we were in it together. And you know how much hard work we put in. So for it to come away from that...
Well, it means you just have to put your boots back on, innit?
It's too late for that, bro. It's too late for that, bro. If you want to see me hobbling around even worse than I used to, then be my guest.
Well, Ricardo, I can hear that beach calling for you. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for the goals and thank you for the Premier League status.
Oh, pleasure. I get to see Carlton again.
That's my guy. Bluetooth, fist pump, Bluetooth. There you go.
Beautiful. Carlton, Ricardo Vazte there. Yeah. Great energy. Love him. Yeah, love him even more.
He's a top fella. Top fella. I can't speak highly enough about him. He's just a great guy. Great player on his day as well. Like, he done really well for us. He came in at a time when we really needed goals and pedigree up front. Because obviously I was doing my part. Piquion was trying to do his part, but we needed some extra boost to come in. I think we went for Nicky Maynard. We had Sam Baldock as well, but they didn't really hit the ground running like how he did. He came in and just banged 10 goals and then secured us the place in the final into the Premier League. So he done his job. We got our money's worth. I think it was a good 500k spent, wasn't it?
Yeah, we spent worse money than that. Right, Carlton. You've sat next to me as we've played the word association game with other former players. You're in the hot seat today. We're playing the word association game with you. Going to name you some West Ham ex-players, some legends, some managers. Okay. Off the top of your head, tell me what you think about those individuals. Are you ready?
I'm going to have to be political. What was it? Politically correct. And yeah, I can't sit on fences here.
Yeah.
Can't be getting no splinters.
We've had enough of that this season. Yeah. Okay, ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Craig Bellamy.
Workhorse.
Nigel Coker.
Sergeant Major.
That's good. Alan Pardew.
Ice cool.
Ice cool. This name's come up a few times. Alan Kirbishley.
Trouble.
Trouble. I thought you were going to go with Charlton like everyone else.
No, I can't do that.
David Di Michele.
Provider.
Javier Mascherano.
Baller.
Here's one for you. Ray Stewart.
Oh, Steward. Steward, mate.
Marlon Howard.
Buffalo.
Winston Reid.
Winston Reid. Oh, Kiwi.
Adrian.
Smiley face.
Kevin Nolan.
Scouser.
You just can't be going where they're from. Stuart Downing.
Postman Pat.
Why Postman Pat?
He just looks like Postman Pat when I look at his face. He looks like if he puts on a like Royal Mail outfit on, like it just looks like Postman Pat to me.
Cheku Kouyaté.
Oh, that guy. Oh, good vibes.
Good vibes. Joey O'Brien.
Joey O'Brien. Responsible.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got his head screwed on.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Here's a West Ham legend, a name that hasn't come up before. Lastly, Chris Skull.
Can he say that? Can he say that?
What a way to end. Brilliant. Thank you, Carlton. That's it for this week. Premier League football is back in a few weeks. Thank you to our guests. We had Josh Widdicombe, Trevor Sinclair and Ricardo Vazte. Hopefully, hearing a lot of strong rumours that Inside Irons will be back next year. So fingers crossed. Thank you for joining us. See you in a few weeks. Come on, you Irons.